in Rising Damp.
It's no good, I can't concentrate. Spooner's had that radio on and off all night.
Well, why didn't you tell him about it?
Not me, tell Spooner. He's a professional wrestler, mate. My body don't bend easily these days.
I'm sure he'd be reasonable.
Well, I'm not. Ever since he's had his leg in plaster, it's been impossible. He blames the whole medical profession just because it itches. I don't think he'd be quite so angry if he'd have done it in the ring, but tripping over the cat, that's what really annoys me.
Yeah. He blames Rigsby. He says that cat's Rigsby's evil spirit. He's going to wring its neck.
He'll do it too, you know. Spooner was a Red Devil.
Who are they?
Airborne division during the war.
Oh, the parachute boys.
I don't think Spooner bothered with a parachute. He's as hard as nails. He's the one who used to lay across the barbed wire for everyone else to run over. He used to break doors down with his head. I'm not telling him to turn his radio down.
Come on, Vienna. Stand about on the stairs like that. We don't want another accident, do we? Who's a naughty boy?
Mr. Rigsby, I really must complain about Mr. Spooner's radio. It was on all last night.
Yes, I'll tell him about it, Miss Jones. Yes, it's his leg, you see, you can't scratch it.
Our Radio Luxembourg's going to help. I hardly closed my eyes last night.
Never have known that, Miss Jones. You look morning fresh as usual.
Well, I don't feel it. I feel shattered.
I'm not surprised the stuff you get on the wireless these days. I mean, where have all the decent programmes gone to, eh? What happened to In Town Tonight?
Sure, I don't know, Mr. Rigsby. That was before my time.
But what about Uncle Mac, then? Good night, children, everyone. Still brings a lump to the throat, eh?
Well, if you could have a word with Mr. Spooner.
No sooner said than done, Miss Jones.
Thank you.
And if you find you can't sleep, you knock on my door, all right? I don't sleep much myself, not since Angio. I'll make a cup of tea, we can have a little chat about the old days.
Oh, well, Mr. Rigsby, I don't think our old days are quite the same. In fact, I have very few old days.
Go on, Vienna. Go on, off you go. Go on. I don't think Uncle Spooner wants to see you at the moment. I think he'd have your tripes out.
Yes. What do you want?
Hello, Spooner. How you feeling?
I'll give you 3 guesses, Rigsby.
Does it hurt?
Hurt? Of course it hurts. What do you think it's doing? Throbbing like mad. All I can do is sit here staring at the goldfish.
Oh, yeah. Funny pet, goldfish.
They don't trip you up on the stairs, though, do they?
Oh, well, never mind. Hey, that throbbing's a good sign, eh? Shows it's getting better. Eh? Back in the ring in no time, eh, Spooner? Do you want me to autograph it?
Eh?
Your leg. No, they do that in hospitals. It provides a bit of amusement.
You touch that leg, Rigsby, and I'll provide you with a bit of amusement.
Oh, you're not bearing a grievance, Spooner. I mean, you can't blame me and you can't blame Vienna. It's not his fault you didn't see him. I can't put lights on him, can I? I know he feels sorry for you. He likes you, Spooner. That's why he rubbed against your legs.
Oh, he rubbed against my legs, all right.
And I brought him up to see you, you know his fur gets up your nose. Anyway, as long as you don't bear him any ill will.
Do you know what I'm going to do, Rigsby, when I get out of this plaster?
No.
I'm going to get hold of that flea-ridden monster and wring his scruffy neck. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to beat you to death with a carcass.
Hey, now listen, I wouldn't touch Vienna if I were you, mate. Anything happens to him, what about his little friends, eh? Where will they go? It'll be after you. All 30,000 of them, you know the sound of marching feet, don't you?
Hey, you. When are you going to tell Spooner about that radio?
No. You must make allowances. The man's suffering.
So are we. You'll at least tell him to turn it down.
You know your tool, don't you? You never stop complaining. Nothing suits you. The room doesn't suit you. The furniture doesn't suit you.
What furniture?
What do you expect for the money you pay? G-Plan? I suppose you like lights shining through polystyrene and occasional coffee tables, no drapes.
Settle for a few cushions.
Cushions? You won't be satisfied. This place looks like the inside of a Turkish brothel. If I'd have put any more furniture in here, you'd been overcrowded.
And whose fault's that?
Exactly.
Well, of course, I know tensions must arise. Up here, under the circumstances, of course.
What circumstances?
Well, nerves about to get taut, aren't they? You know, different ethnic groups, alien cultures.
Do you mean because I'm black, Richard?
Did I say that? Did that word pass my lips? Oh, no. I know, we have to be very careful these days, don't we? Look what happened to Enid Blyton.
What's Enid Blyton got to do with it?
She got into trouble because Noddy didn't like Gollywog.
Are you talking about me?
No, I'm talking about Enid Blyton.
But we get on perfectly well, thank you very much.
Good, because if there's any trouble, you be the one to go. He's fireproof. Victimised minority. He's got rights.
What about my rights?
You haven't got any.
My father told me when he brought me up here that you'd take advantage of my good nature.
Oh, yes, I remember him. Yes, he was the one who kept jumping up and down, see if the floor creaked. Yeah. Ended up with his foot through the plaster. Yes, I remember him. He didn't like this place either, I suppose.
He didn't say anything.
I know the type. Hey, listen, you should have seen some of the billets I was in during the war, mate. Turn your stomach over.
Look, he was in the war.
Oh, yeah? What was he in?
The Royal Air Force.
Oh, blue cream boy.
He's bald.
Yeah, there was a shower, that lot. Fought the war in carpet slippers.
But my father didn't.
What did he think of the room, then?
Thought it was high up.
Oh, he would. That's typical. Typical of the RAF. None of them could stand heights. You couldn't get most of them up a ladder. How he ever won the war, I'll never know. Yeah, listen, we were on parade with them in Manchester. They were a spectacle. There was 500 of them. They didn't make a sound. They were like ghosts. Do you know what they were wearing? Hey? Rubber boots. The Women's Land Army could march better than them, and they were pushing wheelbarrows.
Surely the RAF was supposed to fly, not march, Rigsby.
Oh, you mean those mysterious objects standing at the end of the runway, held together with canvas and string? No. They never went near them. They went everywhere by luxury code.
What about 1940?
Why? What happened?
What happened? A Battle of Britain, mate. You must have heard about that, even in your remote outpost. They must have beat that out on the drums. Huh? Battle of the Great Iron Birds. First of the few, mate.
Churchill said, never was so much given by so many to so few.
Never in the field of human conflict was so much
given by
owed by so
many to so few.
Anyway, what do we owe your father? Huh?
What do you mean?
Where was he when this glorious page of history was being written? But he wasn't doing victory roads over Biggin Hill.
He's in the stores.
I thought so. Never saw an angry man. Yes, but of course he's not the type. Most of them were public school lads, you know, born leaders.
Oh, you mean just because my father didn't talk with a plum in his mouth?
No. They were born to it, you know. You know what I mean. All that rugby and flicking each other with left hands. They're daft. Hey, don't let that foppish manner fool you, mate. Underneath he had nerves of steel, those lads. You know, they did climb into the Spitfires with teddy bears under their arms. Don't you underestimate them either. The Luftwaffe made that mistake. Now, you can always count on the boys in blue when the pressure was on.
How do you know you can't count on me when the pressure's on?
You?
Yeah, well, it's not my fault I missed the war, is it? Perhaps I could have been doing victory rolls over Biggin Hill.
No, you're not a man of action.
No, you don't know, Rigsby. Perhaps I could have been a war hero.
Yeah, it's not likely, though, is it? I mean, you've done nothing but complain about Spooner's raid, but you won't tell him about it. You want me to do it.
Ah, well, that's different. He is a professional wrestler.
He is a professional wrestler with one leg at the moment, and you're still frightened of him.
Suppose he turns nasty.
Yes, but of course, if you're afraid of him, yes.
I'm not afraid.
Don't be a fool, Alan.
I'm not afraid.
Yes, you are.
I'll go down and tell him now.
Spooner's been drinking, Alan.
Okay. Hello, Spooner.
What do you want?
How's your leg?
I've been looking at it. I think they've turned it the wrong way. I'll end up walking like a penguin.
But I shouldn't worry about it, Spooner. They know what they're doing. Spooner, about that transistor.
What about it?
Can I borrow it?
No. It's all I've got, that and the gold.
Remember, you were a red devil.
Well, that was a long time ago. I get dizzy stepping off a pavement nowadays.
How many jumps have you had?
Eh? Oh, 56.
Crikey.
Yeah, I could come right down for 3,000 feet and land on a sixpence. One mistake and they'd be scraping you off the tarmac like strawberry jam. And in all that time, I never so much as twisted my ankle. I was taught to fall, you see.
Came down those stairs like a sack of potatoes, didn't you?
Well, I wasn't expecting it, was I? That mangy cat. I think Rigsby taught him to do that, you know.
Well, I mean, if you want any help, Spooner, you know, like peeling your spuds, getting your medicine, well,
Yeah, well, thanks very much, Alan. You know, you're the only one round here that's shown any sympathy.
Well, I like that. I mean, I can't ignore human suffering. See these hands? Trained to heal. I have this marvellous soothing quality. It's amazing how quiet people become when I get near the bed. How did that?
And it only just stopped throbbing and all. I thought you said your hands were trained to heal.
Well, they are.
Well, these hands have been trained to kill. Now get out of here before I start using them.
Oh, look at this Spooner. 15 stone wrestler, you're behaving like a baby. You know what you are? Hey, you know what you are? A fake.
A fake?
Yeah. I always thought wrestling was fixed.
What happened?
Can't hear anything, can you?
What, you mean you told him? You're very pale.
Usually am when I'm angry.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Don't let this foppish manner fool you, Rigsby. Underneath there are nerves of steel. I could have been up there. Over the Weald of Kent. A couple of 109s before breakfast. I looked him straight in the eye and told him it was a fake.
You said that to Spooner. I can't believe it. Did you really say that?
Yep.
I didn't know you had the nerve.
Ah. It's at times like this, Philip, when we realise what we're really made of. It's Spooner. He's coming for me. It stopped. Oh, don't let him get me, Philip. Don't let him get me.
Hello, Biggles.
The 1995 Nissan Primera is such a pleasure to drive that occasionally it likes to go for a drive all on its own. Can you get this kind of enjoyment out of driving? You can with a Nissan. The 1995 Primera.
Have you seen my razor?
I think it's on the cabinet.
Okay. Whose is that?
Nothing to do with me.
What do you think you're playing at?
It's not mine. Don't look at
I
me.
thought we told you to be careful.
John, I think we're the ones who should have been careful.
And dance.
If your family suddenly grows, so too will your responsibilities. That's why Allied Dunbar financial plans adapt, so you can face the unexpected.
Let's face the music and dance.
Allied Dunbar, for the life you don't yet know.
You shouldn't have to trust to luck when you're deciding which double glazing company will do the best job for you. So why not trust the company who'll install your windows or conservatory, but won't charge a single penny until you're completely satisfied? Pennycook, because that way you just can't lose.
My family was poor, but Mama's tortilla chips were the most delicious in all Mexico. They brought her great wealth. She bought a jacuzzi, but disaster. The Ministry of Cruel but Fair Trading discovered she imported her tortilla chips from Mid-Ormsley Road, Consett, in County Durham. Now she lives in abject poverty with only a Pat Boone record for company. Aye, aye, aye. Oh, oh, oh.
Pay attention, Phileas Fogg, authentic snacks made in Mid-Ormsley Road, Consett.
Take Mr. Lightbody to the yogurt room and give him 15 gallons.
Oh, no, I can't eat 15 gallons of yogurt.
Oh, it's not going in that end, Mr. Lightbody.
there is a tyre that gives up to a 5% saving on fuel in comparison with our standard tyres. Michelin Energy, driving down the cost of motoring.
You turned out to be a right nappy candle, didn't you? Well, you're not surprised. I saw them go like that in the war. You know, all talk for the first sign of danger, then they fell apart. You'd have been one of the first to crack.
What about you, Rigsby? Why don't you tell Spooner?
Me? I'm not complaining. My little bit of music doesn't worry me.
You won't go because Spooner threatened to wring your neck. I'm surprised that someone who faced the might of the German army should be afraid of Spooner. That is, if you did face the might of the German army.
Oh, yes. And what are you getting at?
Only that I always thought English heroes were supposed to be modest.
Yeah, I'd heard that people who really saw action never talk about it.
Oh, well, you know why, don't you? Because nobody listens anymore. They're not interested. They just want to forget the whole thing, that's all. Yeah. Oh, just a couple of poppies on Armistice Day, that's about it. Yeah, the parades get shorter every year. They can't even be bothered to keep quiet for the 2-minute silence now. They'd rather hold a pop festival any day. Do you know, I often wonder what we saved this country for, you know. Hey, what happened to all the old traditions, eh? What happened to good old British grit?
I think you're sweeping most of it under the carpet.
Listen, mate, I was one of the first. I was there. I didn't take any notice of old Chamberlain, you know. In my hand, I have a piece of paper. We all knew what he could do with that. And I saw action, too. Don't you make it... Now, look, if you don't believe me, mate, what about this? What do you think? What do you think this is?
Looks like your nipple.
No. Sorry, it's the wrong side. Here. Do you think that is?
That's your other nipple.
No. Here. Shrapnel, mate. If that moves another inch, I'll be the last casualty of World War II. Oh, shit. Now, here's somebody who knows what it was like to go without during the war. No orange juice for you, was there, Miss Jones?
Well, I was very small.
Yeah.
I was only a baby.
Yeah, but you must remember it, though. You know, ration books, gas masks, yes, potato peas, Dr. Garrett, Victor Pie.
No, I don't remember. I mean, I was still in my pram.
Yes, but it was the People's War, though, wasn't it, Miss Jones? I mean, everyone suffered.
Well, it was some years before I saw a banana.
Yes, there you are, you see.
And Mother always insisted that we were machine gunned coming from the vicarage. She was pushing me in my pram, and this Messerschmitt dived very low. She saw the pilot quite clearly. In fact, she swore it was somebody she'd met in Germany before the war. What she must have said to him to make him go to those lengths, I can't imagine.
There we are. What do you think of that, eh? Miss Jones even defied the Luftwaffe for my pram. That's what it was like in those days, mate. Blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice. You lot don't know you're born.
Well, it's not my fault I was born too late, is it? I mean, I could have made sacrifices.
You make some... You fly into a tantrum if you have to go without your puffed rice. Sacrifice? You couldn't have made it. Your hair's too long. You eat too many sticky sweets. No, you know your trouble? You never did your national service.
So what?
So what? You could have seen the world, lad. Could have had your own Bren gun carrier at 18, a good bunch of mates. You wouldn't have been frightened of Spooner.
Oh, that's what I really came up about. We really must do something about Mr. Spooner.
Oh, yes. It was no good asking him, Miss Jones. He came back terrified.
I wouldn't say that.
He's right, Philip.
Of course I'm right. Who has to get the spiders out the bath for him? I do.
It's true. Okay, I'm a physical coward. I don't mind admitting it. It's the same when I was at home. All the dogs in the street used to bark at me. Even ours.
There are different kinds of courage, Alan. I mean, we wouldn't like to go into a ward full of smallpox.
Neither would I.
It was all a long time ago. You don't want to listen to Rigsby's stories. I mean, how do we know what really happened?
I beg you. Are you calling me a liar?
All I'm saying is that the memory can sometimes play tricks.
We see whose memory can play tricks, mate. Just you wait here a minute. Just you wait a minute.
Now we're in for it.
What do you mean?